Here comes Barncat Claus, here comes Barncat Claus, right down Barncat Claus Lane. How's it going, Pablo? Good to see you, buddy. Oh, and it's baby Ginevra. Hi. Good to see you, sweetie. It was a frosty one last night. It's actually only about 10 degrees Fahrenheit right now. It's definitely chilly and it's definitely feeling like the season. And I actually wanted to talk to you guys today about some of the misconceptions related to farming in Vermont in the winter. But before I can do that, I gotta greet my large white farm dogs. Hi guys, hi. Hi Abby dog, hi Mr. Toby dog. Good to see you both. One of the questions I am most frequently asked is, why the heck would I ever want to raise animals in a cold climate like Vermont? And quite honestly, the clickbaity answer might surprise you. I've actually started covering my water hydrant overnight, just as an extra precaution. I've noticed that sometimes I get like little droplets of water that freeze and it makes it harder to start up in the morning. So just using a cover seems to be helping it. You know, when we're here in the summer months here in Vermont, and by summer months, I generously mean pretty much from like May until, I don't know, early mid-October, like that whole time period. Typically from a farm work perspective, I'm out here working outside, doing various stuff around the farm. It's roughly about 40 or 50 hours a week. You know, that's everything from taking care of all of the animals, and oftentimes my daily animal chores are gonna take me probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 hours just in and of themselves. But then on top of that, in those warmer summer months, I'm usually trying to get various projects done. The dogs are freaking out. My neighbor's out there walking the dog. It's okay, guys. I'm not gonna fill up his water trough today because they don't need it. There you go, pal. Drink up. The ladies, meanwhile, do need it. I'm gonna have to feed them some hay this morning as well. I think the boys could probably stand for some hay, too. What's up there, Macho Man? Why are you hiding in the back like that? Wanna come and say hello? You know, I don't like to be stingy with the cattle with the hay in the wintertime. And beyond just the basic chores that I have to do on a regular basis to ensure that my animals are happy and healthy and fed and all that, you know, I'm usually putting in about a 6 to 8 hour day of some sort of project. And so when you add that up 6 or 7 days a week, pretty much from May till October, that pretty much works out to be that, you know, 40 or 50 hour week that I was telling you about. And so all the farm stuff keeps me very busy. And particularly as I look at things now, it makes me wonder, how did I ever do this stuff back when I had a full-time job? Because the flip side to that truth is that when it's the colder months, like what we're experiencing right now, my job gets infinitely easier. Isn't that right, doggy dogs? I mean, as I look at the shape of my winter chores right now, basically is I get up in the morning and every single day I've got to go out and feed the birds and water the birds and let the birds out and check for eggs and that sort of thing. I need to feed the dogs and the cats. I need to make sure that the cattle have fresh water. And then maybe 2 or 3 times a week on days like today, I gotta feed the cattle some hay. Now, if I'm not doing the hay chores and I'm not yakking to you guys in a video, I can pretty much complete all of that work in, I don't know, 20 minutes. And so it's really no big deal at all. And yeah, I have to sometimes dedicate my time to doing snow clearing. And I'm a lot more likely to have to deal with some sort of form of troubleshooting every so often. But other than that, farm chores are pretty gosh darn easy. All right, ready to go say hi to everybody, Toby Dog? Let's go. All right, Abby, you can go in too, but behave yourself. Release the Kraken! Hey. Don't crowd. Hey, Ralphie boy, how's it going? Are you two sampling the finest that duck and goose poop has to offer? Huh, Abby? Huh? What are you doing? You giving me your belly because you were licking some goose poop? You're a weirdo, girl, but I love you. And speaking of weirdos, morning. Howdy, Mr. Frizzle. I know everybody keeps telling me I need to replace these stairs, and I think you're right. My girl Bet in particular dislikes the stairs. So that might be one winter project I have to tackle very soon. But overall, I don't do a lot of winter projects here because it's not all that fun to work outside. I do a lot of my home projects end up happening in the winter because it's easier to work inside. So for example, last year I renovated a room in our house and turned it into my office and where I like edit and shoot most of my videos that I shoot inside. This year I have a project planned where I'm going to attempt to build a hatchery inside the second floor of our brand new barn. And so technically, even though that one's an indoor project, it's gonna feel like an outdoor project because our barn is uninsulated, unheated, and technically unfinished. But still, I am not doing a lot of farm work. Like I said, for example, you guys have just seen me do the majority of our farm chores for the day in the span of what only amounts to a couple minutes of video time, but in real time is only about 20 minutes. What do you want, Abby? Do you want water? I'm pouring you some fresh water right now. Oh, you just want love. Okay. You're such a sweetheart, you know that? Yes, you're a very good girl. Yes, you are. Easy, boys. I've noticed that the boys like to play with their food. As soon as they get a fresh bale, they like to break it apart. And that process of breaking the bale apart can be a little bit dangerous. They don't mean any aggression towards me, but sometimes they just get a little bit over exuberant, and that's what you need to be careful about. How you doing, macho man? Whoa. See, that's what I mean. They're just jockeying for food position, but I don't want to get caught in the crossfire. So one of the bad parts about my winter yard is the snow and moisture drips off the roof, and it kind of congregates in pools here, and then that makes this whole area just completely muddy mess. And I do my best to actually feed bales regularly right in this spot. That extra organic matter starts to fight off some of the mud and act as a mulch layer. Joey Ramone, you're just making a mess of that bale, kid. What are you doing, you silly goose? Well, you can keep enjoying that. It's all yours, you and Randy's. Now, as for the ladies, they tend to eat their hay in a much more dignified manner. Isn't that right, Bonnie McMurray? Bonnie and her mom munching side by side together. It's kind of a nice sight. Some of the bossier cattle have kind of taken over this bale because I think they prefer it. My different hay bales are of different quality, and I usually try to, with the ladies, give them one good bale and one mediocre bale. The mediocre bales tend to have a little bit of a rip on them. They're actually fine for them to eat. They just are less appealing. And as you can see, Baby B is munching on the lesser bale because she's got a lesser position in our hierarchy of cattle. She's the daughter of our lowest ranked female. And her mom, Amanda, is actually still over here eating yesterday's hay. Jenny loves hanging out with the cattle. That's one thing I've noticed. Ever since they moved back to the barn, she loves to come visit. Aww. So nice to have you up here, sweetie. I yell at her every time she tries to crawl up on me when I'm wearing like a t-shirt. When I have this coat on, it's pretty much invincible, and I'm happy to let her climb up and sit up on the shoulder and be a parrot cat. But yeah, the weird truth about farming in Vermont in the winter is people always perceive the winter months as the hardest months to be farming in, when the reality is, if you have yourself set up right and you have some systems in place, it's actually not that bad. Like when I think about when I first started farming up here and raising ducks that first winter, 2018 into 2019, I struggled so much with so many things. I had a hydrant that froze that I couldn't figure out how to solve. I was carrying buckets of water, I don't know, about 600 feet every morning. There was just like a lot of work that I was doing that just was rough, and it really made for a difficult experience for me. But now with the experience of knowing what to do and having my farm set up, the winter months actually end up becoming the easiest months and the most peaceful and the most relaxing, and gotta admit, kind of maybe my favorite. And so that's typically when I'm taking on additional projects or doing different things. Like for example, I had been working on the sequel to Toby Dog of Goldshaw Farm. The working title of it is The 8 Lives of Little Barn Cat. I'm probably about at the halfway mark of writing it right now, and so I would expect to finish writing probably by the time I'm hatching out goslings. And so there is a very strong chance that there will be a new book available late next year. And so that's been one thing I've been doing. The other one I've been doing is something you'll probably see in January. If you look closely, you might not see it at all, but it's a new project I'm getting ready for as well. Hey, Bonnie McMurray, you want to come say hi? Bonnie, I think, is going to taste this bale and see if she likes it or not.